Stat201.
Hey Brian, what's up?
Hey Adam.
Oh, what's this?
Adam, what are you doing? Adam!
No!
Hey everyone, Jason here. We've tried to find someone to do the Kahoot. You know what though? We could just try and bring him back. I happen to have this. So let's see what happens.
Oh, what? We are here, everyone. We are back. Got the portal behind me. Just a little bit different haircut right there. Brian looks a little different. No, it's totally same me. Same me in all universe. The Brian-verse has been completed. We'll turn off the portal there in the background. Portal's been closed. I am Statman. Nice job right there. He reversed it. He's back. Just back and all everything. I'm getting nervous right there. Oh, thank you so much, JT, right there. Let's throw out some points right there. Doctor Strange confirmed right there. Good evening. Good to see everybody here. Let's turn on the Kahoot music. We got the Kahoot music going. You do? You can hear it. Brian about to carry the final battle of Avengers. Oh my gosh. Avengers Endgame. Michael, great to see you here. Leo, great to see you here. Steven, great to see you here. Ethan, great to see you here. Snap those fingers. That was actually thanks to Adam right there, who let us borrow his Thanos gauntlet. So huge shout outs to Adam right there. Really fun time filming that a while back. Oh my gosh. So long ago. With that, we're going to head over to the main screen right here. We're going to start talking about some Kahoot. So let's go do this. Okay, we got the Kahoot ready to go. The Kahoot code is on the screen. So go to kahoot.it. I think everything... Ready to that cute music in your sleep? And we got the disco Kahoot music. Sydney, great to see you here. Leia, great to see you here. So hyped for the multiverse of madness. Oh my gosh. Doctor Strange stuff. Some good stuff going on right here. We got Super Griffin in. We got, oh my gosh, Nimble Horse, Rockstar Orcs, Groovy Pony, Stellar Raccoon, Golden Falcon. Let's see if we can get 100 people. Can we get 100? Let's get 100 points for 100 people. Started Yarm Draco on YouTube. Sure, don't know. I don't know the link. But with that, we have some stuff right here. Kai is right. Adam killed you though. So sad. We've got here review 1. This is where you can go. Oh, we almost got 100. That's awesome. We got review 1 on the screen right now. Mubot's going to tell you where to go for the review. So we are doing chapters 1 through 6 and pivot. So have your notes out. Have a notepad out. Do I have a Word document open? Watch this. 2 hours later. Have that Word document open in the background. So have a Word document ready to go and have your Kahoot ready to go. Rational Squad per... Sure, that sounds awesome, Reagan, right there. Royal Giraffe, about to catch some W's and get that ebook on Amazon. We got people talking about wedding plans and getting some ebooks. Someone's going to win 30, someone's going to win 20, someone's going to win 10, but we're all going to get some great knowledge. We're past 100, that means another 100 points. We can get up to every 10 people past 100, I'll hit the points button. We'll start here in, watch this, set a 3-minute timer. There's no running timer set. We got to go here. I don't even know how to work phones. I'm an old person. Let's go here to clock. Let's click the clock button. And we're going to start the timer. We're going to reset it. Okay, we got the timer on. We're going to start here in 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So 2 minutes, 30 seconds till we start. Let's keep those 100 points right here. We got another 100 points right there. Boom, 100 points. How's everyone doing tonight? I see Trice in the chat, Ella in the chat, Casey in the chat, Marie in the chat, Peyton in the chat, Teresita in the chat, Shazad in chat. How's everyone? Grant in the chat, Samantha in the chat, Ava in the chat. Who else? How are you doing tonight? Ava's is here. Great job, Ava. Got so many mods. I did. Nice. We're at 111. Some people left. They said, I don't got time. We got 2 minutes till Kahoot. Stat Nation, you bet. I'm doing great, Brittany. Thank you so much. It's been a pretty good weekend. We started playing Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West. Horizon Zero Dawn is a really good series. It's like Assassin's Creed meets the Arkham games. Or kind of just like the Arkham and Assassin's Creed games. But it's got like skill trees. I'd say it's better than Assassin's Creed. We love Stat Nation. Thank you so much, Margo, right there. Rachel says hashtag show up. We know what's up. We're almost near another 10 points. 3 more people join in. 3 more people join in. We got 1 minute and 30 seconds to go till the 2 minute and 30 second marks. I'm doing very good, but I need to do my homework. Do your homework. Do your homework. I love the first game. How's the second going? Great. A little bit different skill tree type stuff. We're not too far into it. More people are watching. That's awesome. How many people we got watching? I should go look at Mewbot. Mewbot, you doing all right, my main man? Hey, Mewbot, how you doing? Let's go say hey for Mewbot.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for showing up. Hashtag show up. Mewbot can't handle all the heat.
You're so weird, Mewbot. Favorite Assassin's Creed? Black Flag's really good. Black Flag's really good. Chloe, good question right there. Favorite Assassin's Creed? I mean, the first one was great. I think I played the first, the second. I played Black Flag. Haven't played like the new one with the Vikings or the Egyptian one. Haven't played those yet. What is it, Valhalla? Or I don't know. Everything's called Valhalla now, right? How long do these typically last? About an hour-ish. Assassin's Creed 3 is the best. That's pretty. Yeah, Gira, I'll have to check that one out again. I remember 1 and 2. I remember like in one of them, you're like in this offshoot facility. We got 20 seconds to go. Valhalla, 100% the best. Confirmed right there, Carson says. I'm playing Bloodborne right now also. And some Isaac, of course, because I'm obsessed with Binding of Isaac. 100%ed it, but little too much of my life. Valhalla is goated. AC3, Assassin's Creed 3, Warzone. Warzone is that Call of Duty Warzone? That's got it. We're going to start some Kahoot as people. Yeah, dude, Bloodborne is good stuff. Dark Souls 1, 2, 3. I beat all those except all the DLC for Dark Souls 2. Played Bloodborne, and I need to do Sekiro, and then I need to play Elden Ring, which is out. But I need to catch up some people on some Apex Legends. But you know what this means? I'm going to throw the 100 points here. We got so close. Tarkov. Oh, Escape from Tarkov is a good game. With this, it is time. Dude, you need to run some Elden Ring. Elden Ring does. Oh, we got those points anyways. Here we go. Get ready with the new Pokemon announced today. I saw that. You probably saw it too. We're going to start some Kahoot. Here we go. First question of the night. First question of the night. This is recorded. Good question. First question is, which of the following phrases helps us identify quantitative variables? Which of these helps us identify quantitative variables? Think of these. Which of these most applies to quantitative variables? Kristen, join the Pokemon Go UTK server. I got a ton of shinies this weekend. Whoa, look at all the answers. Now, when we talk about identifiers, identifiers are what? Does anyone know if you hear an identifier, it must be this? Identifiers must be this. To review the codes behind me, identifiers must be what? Who can put the word identifiers? Maria said it perfectly right there. Identifiers must be unique. And great job right there, Avery, saying they're a special kind of categorical variable. So take these notes as we're playing along, like have your notebook beside you. Identifiers are unique. They will not repeat. Code's right behind me right here. If you look where I'm at right now, and the code's right behind me right there. Identifiers are unique. They will not repeat. And they are also a special case categorical variable. So those are 3 things I would say to know. Identifiers are unique. They will not repeat. And they are a special case categorical variable. Thank you, everyone spamming the chat with the code right there. Everyone helping out. Vols help Vols in the chat. You know, one of my favorite things is Vols help Vols, and Vol means all. Put it together. Vols help all. Let's see who's in the lead right here. Epic Wolf. You can't beat Epic Wolf. This is going to be... Epic Wolf is going to lead the way the whole time. We got some amiable pony right there. We got some classy koala and majestic turtle and royal giraffe. Number 1, but not for long, Kayla says. Let's see if that holds true. Great job right there on the 5th, Avery, with question number 2. Here we go with question number 2. The University of Tennessee uses your student ID number to track your database. What kind of type of variable is this? Your student ID number to track you in a database. So ask yourself this. Is that a quantity? Is that how much is your student ID? You say, I've got a more student ID than you. Is that a category of student ID? Like I'm in this group of student ID, like I'm a freshman student ID, I'm a sophomore student ID. Or would you say, what is your unique student ID? And then no one else would have that student ID. What is it? Oh, no. It's an identifier. Why is your student ID an identifier? Who can explain? Just do your checks of knowledge. I got a lot of checks of knowledge on here. Why is student ID an identifier? Like, repeat the reason it goes. I'm on the podium next time, Avery. It's unique. It will not ever repeat. It's unique to you. The second most question was quantitative. So remember, sometimes numbers don't represent quantities. What could you do if your friend says their student ID and I say my student ID, like I'm student ID 10 and their student ID 4? If this is a quantity of student ID, what can we do to our student IDs to check to the quantitative? So there's a check when you see things are quantitative, you can do this with them. So if things are quantitative, you should be able to do what with the values? And then it'll make sense when you do this. Subtract them, great answer right there. You can subtract them and say, my student ID is 6 more than yours. But that difference really doesn't make sense. It's just identifying which one you are. So remember, if it is quantitative, you could subtract them and the difference will make logical sense. But someone's student ID being 6 more than someone else's is just a different number that identifies who they are. So remember, if it's quantitative, the number will represent a quantity of student ID. Things like how old are you, how much do you weigh are all quantitative, and categorical will put things into groups. And so here's the biggest thing, and I want to give a huge shout out, 100 points. Take notes and ask any questions you have. Don't worry if we get it wrong. There's a few tricky questions on this Kahoot. Let's see how it goes. Oh, Epic Wolf is still in the lead. The leaderboard is locking up, but Funny Bat and Rockstar Impala have joined up right here. Maddie, 5th place right there. Maddie, great job. Let's see. Hang on to that lead here with the next question. Here we go. And great job on the taking notes right there, Dem. How does a normal probability plot determine if a distribution is normal? Now, when we talk about a normal probability plot, it's a plot that shows us the probability of something being normal. This is a histogram, univariate quantitative. This is a normal probability plot. Put yes or no if this is normal. I want to see what people say in the chat. So the question is this normal probability plot normal? And you can kind of tell the answer. So this is the normal probability plot, which is a plot that shows us the probability the distribution is normal. How does it determine? So how does the plot that shows us the probability of the distribution being normal determine if it's normal? The points would need to what? Avery, keep it up. The points will need to what? Say it with me. If the distribution is normal, they will do what? And we'll zoom in on it. If the distribution is normal, these points will what? They will mostly do what? Follow that red line. Does that make sense? Do these points follow the red line? Yes or no in the chat. I want to see a bunch of capitalized yeses or nos. Do these points right here, these black points, follow that red line? Yes or no? Do these black points right here follow that red line right there? No, they do not. So your evaluation of this would be that this histogram right here, say it with me, is what? Normal or not normal? Is this histogram, which you can look at it too, is that histogram normal or not normal via the normal probability plot and just looking at the histogram? Great job right there. A lot of people saying not normal. Haley and William and Priya and everyone saying not normal. It's not normal. So remember, the number one way to remember what a normal probability plot is to say it how. If you hear normal probability plot, which line, since there are 3? Oh, it's the one down the center. King and Queen, 100 points. Great question. King and Queen's asking which line of these? The straight line, the one down the center. Those other lines are kind of like your lines, like as long as it's within those a little bit. So you want to follow this one down the center, the straight line down the center of it. The above 0.05 is when we do what's called the goodness of fit goodness of fit test. Great question there, Dem. The above 0.05 is the goodness of fit test to see if the normal curve is a good fit, and that's when we do the p-value test. So make sure to have this note. When we do the normal probability plot, how should you read this to help remind yourself? Always read normal probability plot Whatley. How have I taught people how to read this? So if you're in our class and you're like, Brian always says to read this what to remember what it means. So we don't read it normal probability plot. We read it this way. We read it this way. How do we read it? All people say in the chat. See if you remember how to read it. We always read it Whatley to remember what it is. We read it. Who knows? Plot, great job, Madison, right there. A plot that shows the probability is normal. Great job, Ava. We read it backwards. So we usually read it normal probability plot, but it's a plot that shows us the probability it's normal, and it's this plot, and that red line shows us if it's normal. So remember, just try reading it backwards when you see it on the test, and you're like, wait, normal probability plot? Well, that's the one I read backwards. That's a plot that shows the probability of it being normal, and it's this plot right here. It's that plot right there. So just remember what it is, and remember how to read it and look at it. So good practice, good review. I pick things that people forget what they are, and the 0.05 is for the goodness of fit test, which would be a different question. Let's see how that leaderboard's doing. I was joking that Epic Wolf was going to lead the way the whole time, but Epic Wolf is just destroying it. Uno reverse card playing backwards. Kind of good answer right there. I dropped. No worries. Keep playing. You got this. You're practicing and you could still win. The leaderboard sometimes goes crazy. We got some Hero Ostrich in here. Lucky Panther. Lucky Panther's going to win, I bet. Next question. Here we go. Which of the following graphics can be used for univariate categorical variables? Univariate categorical. This is a quick one again. What's our favorite saying? Who knows our saying that's going to help us out? I don't want to block any right answers. How do you remember what pies and bar charts can be used for? Like, why do you link pies and bar charts? Why do you link pies and bar charts? Who knows the saying for pies and bar charts? Well, no, that's not a pie. There's a bar and a pie chart. There we go. We have a famous saying from our good old friend, Marshall Erickson. And he once said, you can make a pie chart of your favorite bars and a bar chart of your favorite pies. And think about that. Oh no, we were 50-50 on this. We were 50-50 on this. If you ask somebody, and don't worry, here's what we got to do. We got to review. These are things that we learned way earlier on. If you ask somebody their favorite pie, is that a categorical question or a quantitative question? If you say, what's your favorite pie? So if you say, what's your favorite pie? Is that a categorical or a quantitative? You just walk up to someone and say, what's your favorite pie? And they're like, you're weird. And you're like, but I'm collecting data. It's categorical. So we have to think, just remember this way of remembering it. Like, favorite pies are categorical. If you walk up to someone and say, what's your favorite bar? And they say, of course, it's Yacht Club Barcade. I mean, come on. I hope they're still doing well as I'm far away. But with this right here, if you say, what's your favorite bar? Is that a category of favorite bar or is that a quantity of favorite bar? When you say, what's your favorite bar? So you can shout out your favorite one in chat, 21 over. It's categorical, right? Great job right there. It's categorical. So when do we use histograms and when do we use, I think the other one was a box plot right here. Box plots and histograms, do you remember the previous question? The previous question shows you a histogram with a box plot on it. Shout out to Uptown right there. Prespod right there. Oh, Prespod is good. Shout out to all the places in Knoxville doing well. So histograms are paired with box plots. And what do box plots show you that are like more than 1.5 IQRs away from Q1 and Q3? Box plots, you can see what's in. So this is ways to remember it. If you get to this on the test or some question like this, what is 1.5 IQRs above Q3 and 1.5 IQRs below Q1? Outliers, Hannah, great answer right there. We're going to Hannah a mod right here. I'm going to make a few more mods in the chat. But outliers. So if things are outliers, the data must be what? Oh yeah, beyond it. Great answers right there. Avery on fences. Yep, that's where the fences are, where outliers begin. And so if there's outliers and box plots show those, the data must be what? If there's outliers and box plots show those, great answer, Avery right there, must be quantitative, that top corner over there, and I'll disappear. If you want to screenshot this, this is pretty much everything you need to know for this test. It's got a little bit extra on it, but this is a great way, box plots right there. This is pretty much everything right here, and histograms and box plots are quantitative. And what does a stem and leaf do for you? Between when to use a bar and a pie, they're interchangeable, Dem. Great question. Bars, you can make a pie chart of your bar chart or bar chart of your pie chart. They are completely interchangeable, and you could make a ring chart if you want, but don't do that. So no worries, Patsy. Great to see you here. So with this, why would we ever use a stem and leaf plot? You'd use a stem and leaf plot for smaller data sets if you wanted to see the what's. When would you use a stem and leaf? A stem and leaf is for smaller quantitative data sets. Good question, Jillian. Stem and leaves are going to show you the data values. Now you could make side back-to-back stem and leaves down here. It's not listed. Stem and leaves are going to show you the actual values. And then there's a question, could you explain, oh, wait, no, there was another one. Why not ring charts, Jillian asked, Juliana asked. And ring charts, I'm just not a big fan of them. Nothing wrong with them, just not the biggest fan. Wait, could you disappear? Oh, disappear, yeah, sure, of course. There you go, Braden. And so we're going to start back up here in 1 second in good review. You'll hear a lot more about these classes. I agree with Avery right there. I'm not a big fan of ring charts. There we go. It's time for the next. Whoa, like the numbers changed. Oh my gosh. Where'd my sound go? Oh, what the heck just happened? Well, Epic Wolf is not epic anymore. Sorry, Kristen, was that you? The picture's also on Discord. Nice job right there, Troy. Next question. Here we go. Which of the following graphics is used for bivariate categorical? So this will help you out. If you have that previous graphic, you might even rewind the video. Which of these is used for bivariate categorical? Now, all of these displays are bivariate, but scatter plots and time plots have a condition. Does anyone know how to talk about the condition for scatter plots and time plots? A time plot's a special case scatter plot. Those are the wrong answers to this one. But what is the condition for scatter plots and time plots? When you're talking about scatter plots and time plots, you need what condition met? You can type 2 letters. Because scatter plots and time plots are QQ, 2 quantitative variables. Mosaic plots and contingency tables, mosaic plots and contingency tables are bivariate categorical. We can graph a variable like students who have broken a bone, and we can look at a variable like gender, and then we can look at the relationship between those variables. The mosaic plot gives you a visualization, and the contingency table shows you the numbers. So make sure to remember that these are your bivariate categorical visualizations. These are your bivariate quantitative. Now, which of these is true? All time plots are scatter plots, or all scatter plots are time plots? Like, what is a time plot? Would it be all time plots are scatter plots, or all scatter plots are time plots? Which of those is the true statement? All time plots are scatter plots, or all scatter plots are time plots? All time plots are scatter plots. Great job, Avery, right there. All time plots are scatter plots. Because a time plot is just a scatter plot where the x-axis is time-oriented. So you have like how many days have passed, and then you have like the price of milk or something. Amazing data. And so all time plots are scatter plots, and they both are what? All time plots. Now, this is not the answer up here. All time plots and scatter plots are bivariate what? Time plots and scatter plots are both what? And you can see them right there in this graphic. QQ, exactly 100 points right there. They're both bivariate quantitative. 2 quantitative variables need to go together to make these. Let's see who's in the lead. Did Epic Wolf come back? Is it being weird? Kahoot's just being odd. Well, Hero Ostrich, and great job, Juliana, right there. Hero Ostrich, Amusing Goose, Classy Koala, Bronze Bobcat, and Social Squid on the leaderboard. Next question, here we go. Find the IQR of the distribution. Now, the IQR stands for the interquartile range. It might be a little hard to see, but you should just zoom in with your eyes. The IQR stands for the interquartile range. What are you looking at in that box plot right there? What are you looking at in that box plot right here? What are you looking at in that box plot? What do you need to look at in the box plot? What is the IQR of the box plot? The IQR of the box plot is the what? Of the box plot, the IQR is the what? So who knows? Kahoot made my graphics smaller. Who knows what the IQR of the box plot is? The IQR of the box plot is the box. The box right here goes from 0 to 2. Now, what you'll also notice, this is a very, is it right or left skew? Let's ask in the chat with a vote right now. Is this right or left skew? Is it right or left skew? So remember how the Monster Man goes. So is it right or left skew? I think people know. That was too much pressure. No, we don't like pressure. Under pressure. Do. We've almost, let's see what the answers are. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the Monster Man's tail goes. We got 100%. You know what? That's where the 100 points are there. Great job. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the Monster Man's tail goes. His tail goes to the high side, which is the right side of the curve. Always remember, sometimes the numbers might be flipped, but this is left to the low down here. Whatever way his tail goes is the way it is skewed. That is definitely a right skewed distribution. Now, what you may not know, let me point to 2 values in here, which is rather interesting and a good point of review. What is the line in the center of the box plot? That line, the line right here is the what? The line right there is the what? What is the line in the middle of the box plot? It's the median. Great job right there, Priya. Is the median. So I'm going to put MED for median because I can't spell. Now, you may not know this, but the diamond, which jump adds not commonly, is the what? Now, think since it's right skewed, now this is not a common thing for box plots. It would not be on the test, but it shows you something. It's the mean. And if the data is right skewed, you can actually see what? If the data, and you don't need to know the diamond's the median, but think about this. If the data is right skewed, the mean is what to the median? If the data is right skewed, the mean is going to be, and I think Leo's great answer right there, the mean is going to be what? Which this can communicate a concept to you. The mean is bigger than the median. Some are great answers right there. So when it's right skewed, the mean follows the skew. If it's left skewed, the mean will be below the median. So whichever way the mean is to the median might indicate skew. Which of those is more impacted by skew, the mean or the median? Which of these is more impacted by skew, the mean or the median? Like, which of those gets really impacted by skew? The mean, Madison, exactly. And so that's why we would use for this distribution right here, which is some questions coming up maybe, what would be the proper measure of center? The proper measure of center for this, because of the skew, how do we know to read the mean of the, so on the, this is kind of an extra thing, Jackson, it's like one of those little extra things, is that the diamond right there is the mean. You don't, that's not in the notes, but jump output shows it, so I'll mention it, and it's a good way to know. And Fleming, perfect answer right there, says the median because it's skewed, and then we need to talk about the spread, and what would be the proper measure of spread for this data? And King and Queen so perfectly said it. The IQR right here is going to be the proper measure of spread. So now we know the proper measure of center and the proper measure of spread. We're going to have some questions coming up here reviewing that. So stay tuned as we go check out the leaderboard. There's lots of questions. Keep working. Don't worry if you lose. Some people leave. They're like, I'm losing. And I'm like, don't leave. Classic koalas win. And don't worry. You might win. Who knows? But we're all here to practice. And here we go with the next question. Hero Ostrich, I'm looking at you. You're going to win this. Question number 7. The group of individuals or things we want to understand is the what? The group of individuals or things we want to understand. The group of individuals or things we want to understand. Not what we have data on. Not the thing we want to understand. Not the thing we've got an estimate of. I'm going to tell you every word on the screen right here, so make sure to have your notebook out. I'm a little bit scared. Oh, I'm scared. This is the group of individuals. It's all right, Avery. Oh, a lot of people put sample. So the sample is what we collect our what on. So the group we want to understand is called the population. And interestingly enough, they're sometimes called the population of this, and this is a good way to remember it. The population is sometimes called the population of, and who knows the last word I hear for 100 points. The population is sometimes called, oh, thank you, I'm right there. You're doing great. How do you determine center spread? Jalen, coming up here in just a second. The population is sometimes called the population of, Aaron, perfect answer, of interest. So we sometimes call it the population of interest. So we're interested in understanding the population. Does that make sense? So I would call it the population of interest. And this is like everybody. So if we want to go out and understand everybody, we would collect data and we would go take a what? Now be careful. What sounds best right here? If we collect data, we would go take a parameter, a statistic, or a sample. So, and then Leo's saying it well. If we want to understand the population, nice one, Blake, we'd go out and we'd take a sample, right? Now, here's a famous saying I have. I want to see everyone type this in the chat. SSPP. And you're like, what's SSPP? Great job, Juliana, right there. And great job, Emily and Emma and Brent and Samantha. What is SSPP? Well, it's the way to remember samples give you statistics to understand parameters about populations. So if I take a sample of students and I find out that the students have a 3.6 GPA in that sample, would that be a statistic or a parameter? I talked to 100 students, they're my sample, and they in the sample have a GPA of 3.6. Would I call that a parameter or a statistic? What would that be when I take a sample of 100 students and they have a GPA of 3.6? Is that GPA of them a statistic? It's a statistic, right? It is a statistic. Make sure to reload if we ever hit a lag bump. It is a statistic. So why do we get, and so it's called sample statistics help us understand population parameters. So sample statistics help us understand population parameters. Great question right there, Priya. Thanks for asking. And so you are going to take a sample of 100 students. You will obtain a statistic, and a statistic's just like something you learn about them. Maybe you learn that 70% of them are from in-state. So what would that do? you now would have a guess at the parameter, which is the truth for everybody. Do you think if you went and talked to 1,000 UT students and you asked them, what is your favorite place to eat in Knoxville? Do you think you would start to understand the truth for all students? If you talk to 1,000 students, a parameter is the truth. You would understand from your sample, to Carson's question, you would understand from your sample that maybe 40% of them love Five Guys. Five Guys just hitting it off, some great burgers from Five Guys. And then you would be able to take a guess that the truth for your population is probably close to that. The parameter is what you want to understand. The statistic is your what of that. So try to fill in this sentence. The parameter is what you want to understand for your population. Your statistic is just your what of that. There's a lot of words you could put there. Five Guys is great. Statistic. Yes, exactly, King Queen. And so the statistic is just your what of the truth for the population. A statistic will let you do what? It is the data. It will let you, it's from a sample. It is kind of, I don't want to say the word, I want people to think of it. So if you're trying to figure out the truth and you have a sample and it's from you and you have a statistic, the statistic is your what at the truth. Your statistic is like my what of the truth. It lets us make inferences. Exactly. The statistic is kind of your best guess. Does that make sense? It is your guess. Great answer right there, Maria. Is your best guess. It's your understanding. So you have a understanding from your statistic, and it gives you a guess at what the truth is. What's, I think, hard for people a lot of times is this truth for a population is something we don't often know. And we'll get into this in chapter 10. So this is a little bit test 2 material. But if you want, take a moment right here. I'm going to define all these words for you. So write these down. Population is the group of individuals or things we want to understand. Sample is the group of individuals or things we collect data on. Statistic is going to be some measure that is from our sample, whether it be the mean, percentage, it's just some measure taken on the sample. Parameter is the truth for the population that we estimate via statistics. That's the tough one. To repeat once again, the population is the people or things we want to understand. The sample is the people or things we collect data on. The statistic is going to be our estimate from the data, like some sort of like mean or percent of that group that falls into a certain group. And then the parameter is what we are interested in understanding for the population, and we get an estimate from the statistic of this. With that, it's time for the leaderboard. Here we go. It is a crazy game. Do not leave because you never know who's going to win, and Mubot just keeps throwing out those 100 points. On to the next question. Here we go. Question number 8. Which variable is a special case categorical variable? Easier questions right here. Hopefully we get 100% answers right on this. Ooh, it's so close. Which of these is a special case categorical variable? Oh no, we like lost everybody. No, crazy game. Hopefully we can still get 100 answers right here. Special case categorical variable is an identifier. I'll mention these other ones on here real quick. So you'll notice right here, discrete and continuous are going to be quantitative variables. Discrete means a number has to be whole numbers. Continuous means that it can be numbers like 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. Oh, I'm sorry, Kristen. And nominal means it's a categorical variable that does not have any order to it. Does anyone know categorical variables are either nominal or they have order, and what would they be called? Kristen's cracking me up in the chat. Categorical variables are either called nominal or they're called what? Categorical variables are either what or what? Ordinal, great job right there, Anna right there. Nominal or ordinal. So a nominal categorical variable would be like, what state are you born in? And that's like a type of categorical variable that has no order to it. But then an ordinal categorical variable would be, are you a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior? And it's ordinal because the categories have order to them. These over here, discrete and continuous, apply to quantitative variables. But write it down and remember it. A special case categorical variable is known as an identifier. It's a group of one that can never, will never repeat. Reagan right there knows some steak preferences. Oof. I could go for a good steak. That'd be awesome. Do we have to know all the different types? It doesn't hurt. It's not the biggest thing, but I would put these on flashcards and be like nominal categorical variable, a categorical variable that has no order to it, ordinal categorical variable, a categorical variable that has order to it. And you could put things like steak preference for ordinal and state someone was born in for nominal. With that, next leaderboard time. Everyone here, Kristen, oh, you're cracking me up. Well, the hair did get all the way to my shoulders. So maybe again, who knows? But that was last year when I was like long hair. Oh no, I'm sorry, Kristen. I'll just like get like boom. Here, watch. Wait, do I have it? Wait till the end. Wait till the end, everybody. Wait till the end. There'll be a surprise at the end. Next question. Time plots are special case whats? Oh, Avery, I've got videos of Mullet Brian. I just got to edit them. Grow it back right now. Grow it back right now. Time plots are special case. Time plots are special case whats? Time plot. Wow, that deserves an award. Wait a minute. Welcome to Stat to One. How are you doing this morning right here? How's everyone doing? Everyone doing all right? I think I got something in my hair. Just 1 second. 1 second, real quick here, everyone. He's back. Oh, he's long hair Brian is back. Long hair Brian is back. There's 25 questions. Long hair Brian's back. Reward right there. Big shout right there. Just long hair Brian right there. You never know what's going to happen here. Scatter plots and time plots are both bivariate quantitative. Bivariate quantitative right here. We're talking about this region right here. This region right here. You're welcome. Julian's cracking up. So this region right here is the bivariate quantitative, and the bivariate quantitative are scatter plots. But when is something a time plot? A time plot is going to be when on the x-axis. I'm glad everyone's cracking up and having a great time. That's what we're here to do. We're here to learn and just have some fun. And what we're talking about is a time plot is when you have something like hours, and maybe you're doing something like, maybe you're in nursing and you want to look at somebody's heart rate or like a blood concentration or something, and you could see right here, this would be a time plot. Why are things time plots? Avery's cracking me up. Why are things time plots? Because it's a scatter plot where what? I feel bad. Oh my god. We'll put that as a Mubot quote, Kenneth, right there. I don't even know his outfield band. There we go. Mubot quote right here. Kenneth gets a Mubot quote. Why are things time plots? Why are things time plot? Quote 160. Time on the x-axis. Time on the x-axis. We're here to have some fun. It's Sunday night. We're just practicing Troy. Okay, next question right here. Everyone's just having so much fun. Next question. Let's see who's going to win. Okay, I got to make sure there's a thing that can end the game. And one time I hit it. And time is a construct. Quite true, quite true. And so with this right here, we got Bronze Bobcat, Groovy Pony, Golden Falcon. All this great stuff right here. Next question. Here we go. Which distribution has the biggest range? Uh-oh. Watch out for outliers. I'm warning you right now. Watch out for outliers. You've probably already answered and you're throwing your phone. Don't throw your phone. You don't want to break your iPhone or your Galaxy or your flip phone or your BlackBerry or your, I don't know, what are the kids using these days? Who saw the outlier? Who saw the outlier? I'm sorry, Kristen, I won't end it. Who saw the outlier? Madison did. No, Madison, no. Kristen, no. What are you going to do on the test, though? What are you going to do on the test? What are you going to do on the test? What are you going to do on the test? What is the point of this? What are you going to do on the test? Do you see it now? No. Don't forget about those outliers. Don't forget about those outliers. Don't forget about them. Tiny. That dot right there.
Don't say tiny little dot. Don't forget about me. I'm an outlier.
Don't forget about Tiny Brian right there. Your chances might never be gone. You don't know what's going to happen. I promise, Ella, right there. Keep playing. You got this. What are you remembering to do on the test when thinking about range? What are you remembering? Here it knows. When things are outliers, these are things that are more than 1.5 IQRs below Q1 or 1.5 IQRs above Q3. Oh no, join back in. We'll show the code here in a second. But with this tiny little dot right here, with that tiny little dot, when you get to box plots, you need to look for outliers because this has the biggest range, because outliers are part of the range. What is the formula we use to find the range of box plots? It's what? What minus what is the range for box plots. So you have to remember, this is the blank for this box plot. That tiny little dot right there is the what? It's the max minus the min. Great job, Jackson, right there, 100 points. It's the max minus the min. And that is the range of the box plot. So do remember the outliers count. Exactly right there, Maria. Good work. No, Kristen, don't worry. You know what? You know what's more depressing? Well, I'm going to do this right here. We're just going to give out a crazy 500 points. What's more depressing, missing it on the Kahoot or missing it on the test? Just think about that. What's more depressing, missing it on the Kahoot or missing it on the test? Something tells me if you remember this on the test and you're like, wait a minute, I got to look for outliers. You're like, heck yeah, Kahoot. We got this right here. It doesn't matter if we miss it tonight. We're here to have fun. We're here to practice. We don't want to miss it on the test. So when we get to box plots, we need to remember to know what these values are. Let's take a quick screenshot of this. And so I'm going to go in here and screenshot this. I want to bring this over. When you look at box plots, let's ask some questions, and then we're going to do the next question here. Okay, so here we go. What are the 5 values on a box plot? What are the 5 values? Kristen's saying they're going to win right there. What are the 5 values on a box plot? What are the 5 values on a box plot? What are the 5 values? The 5 values are going to be the min, the Q1, the Q3, I skipped one, and the median, and the max. Those are the 5-number summary. Now, the easiest way to remember the 5-number summary, if you're trying to memorize it, and please ask questions or tell me if you got them, is draw 4 whats to do the 5-number summary. If you're doing the 5-number summary, just draw this on your cheat. You don't have a cheat sheet, I'm sorry. Draw this on your scratch sheet of paper. And then put 5 lines between them. And go down here to the bottom. The min, the max. It's a good way to remember them. The median. And then here's 1/4 added up. And here's 3/4 added up. And this distance right here, that's the IQR. Q3 minus Q1. Draw the quarters to help yourself remember. And then remember what these values mean. Like the median is the 50th percentile. The Q1 is after 25% of the data. And one thing to mention that a lot of people forget is this point right here. What is this line right here? Now, it's kind of this. Do we have to? You won't calculate that on the test. You might have to do the IQR calculation, but you won't calculate that. Great question, Avery. What is that right there? Kind of, Kristen. Kind of for this one, but not always. So kind of for that, but not always. And anything past that is an outlier. That is true. And Juliana, great answers right there. 1.5 times the IQR minus Q1. That would be the formula, is where outliers start. Correct, Avery, right there. Anything beyond that's an outlier. And I just want to show you one last thing with this. Let me hop back on the screen here and show you one last thing. Okay. If I make a box plot, just go make a box plot of the following data. Tell me. Could you tell me right here where the upper fence is on this? Ooh. This is a decently tough question. Could you tell me where the fence is? We'll go over this just briefly right here. But could you tell me where the upper fence is? And the formula to find the upper fence, this is a good review of box plots, is going to be the following. You need the scale on it too. I'm going to resize screen. Where is the upper fence? Oh, I got some good guesses. Let's go analyze it. You ready? So how do we find the upper fence? I don't know if I've seen the right answer yet. So who knows the formula to find where the upper fence is? Just what the formula is. You ready for the formula? The formula is going to be, it's going to be Q3 plus what? Q3 plus what? And people are saying it, Q3 plus 1.5 IQR. So what might you ask first? Well, what's Q3, right? Q3 is this. And then we need to find out what? We need to find out what a what is. So then we need to find out, someone might have said the right answer earlier. We need to find out what is next. Because we can find out Q3 is 4. And then what do we need to figure out next? Is it 7? Is it? Oh, and Kevin's got it. The IQR, right? What is the IQR of this? What is the IQR? That's the IQR right there. So the formula is going to be 4 plus 1.5 times 2. And the fence is going to be at, I think they were right. I got to throw out 100 points. They said 7. That is correct, right? Great answer. And that's just the solve of this formula right here. This solved out to 7. Does that make sense? So great answers, those putting 7. Alexa, everyone else, great answers. This is just a good practice right here to know where the upper fence is. And Margaret, great job right there. But I like doing all different types of questions, good different types of practice, knowing that Q3 plus 1.5 QRs is where the upper fence is at. And that means, once again, that this line right here, as we were talking about previously, is the highest point that is not an outlier. Does that make sense? That it can be the maximum, like this right here is the minimum. But in this box plot, this is the highest non-outlier point, and that is the maximum. Is everyone following? The whiskers represent either the min or the highest point / lowest point that's not an outlier. So if there is an outlier, the whiskers do not represent the highest point. The whiskers represent the highest point that is either the highest point or the highest point that's not an outlier in this instance. The lowest whisker is either the min or the lowest point that is not an outlier. Great job, Kevin, right there. Thank you for asking that. So remember, those could be the max or the min, or they just might be the highest points that's not an outlier with the box plot. Good review right here. Fences aren't shown right there. Avery, another 100 points. In your final drawings, the fences do not appear. We don't see those fences. Great review of box plots. Let's see who's in the lead. Here we go with the next leaderboard. Bronze Bobcat. Mix it up, mix it up. Oh, maybe it's not mixing up. Question number 11. What is the best measure of spread for this distribution? Good practice on center and spread. People were asking about center and spread earlier. Great job, Kristen, right there. Good review of box plots. For the lowest fence, subtract 1.5 IQRs from Q1. So to Jackson's question, you'll go to Q1 and subtract 1.5. You'll go below it. Oh no, Avery. What are your only 2 options for best measure of spread? If you see spread, you should look at only 2 options on the screen. What are the only 2 options for spread on the screen right now? What are the only 2? And great job, we got some good answers. IQR and standard deviation. IQR and standard deviation. So make sure you know that. IQR and standard deviation. Why would you pick IQR? So why would you pick, sorry, it's a little bit small. Why would you pick IQR? So IQR is the interquartile range. It's the spread of the middle 50%. And we would pick IQR for this because what? It's skewed. It is skewed, and because it's right skew looks like this, I'm reverse image. Because it's right skewed, we're going to pick IQR. Now, the best measure of center for this would be what? Check out crazy with that best measure of center. The best measure of center, if it's not correct, Emily, great answer right there. That is correct. If it's normally, then it'd be the one you set up. And people are saying the median. That is correct. Median is the correct measure of center. But we asked the correct measure of spread. So median and IQR are paired. Great job, Juliana, right there. And Laura, I'm going to make Juliana a mod. So happy to see so many people here. Whether you're in our class or another class, or you just happen to swing by on the internet, we're just glad to have you. Time for the leaderboard. And drop those questions. Whoa, I don't know what's going on with the website being weird. Here we go. I'll be tripping. Next question. Let's do it. Here we go. True or false? Outliers can make a weak correlation strong. Outliers can make a slope that is negative positive. Outliers can make a negative slope positive. Outliers can make a negative slope positive, a weak correlation strong, a strong correlation weak, a negative correlation positive, a positive correlation negative, a moderate correlation strong, a negative correlation strong, a positive correlation weak, a weak correlation strong, a correlation that's non-existent strong, correlation that's strong, non-existent, a non-existent correlation weak, a negative correlation moderate, a moderate correlation negative, a negative. I can't even speak. You know the answer. You know the answer. What is the answer right here? I'm no Watsky. What can outliers do? What can outliers do? Outliers can do anything. Anything is possible. In the words of Lonely Island, anything is possible. Oh gosh, no, M&M's. Oh man, he'd destroy me. Outliers can do anything. If you see, but be careful. Be careful. What do outliers not impact? What can outliers really? They can do anything to correlation. Good answers right there. They can do anything to correlation. But what can outliers really not impact? Outliers will impact the mean. Outliers will impact the standard deviation. Oh, those median and IQR. It's almost like if the data is skewed, we'll use something that is not impacted by the skew. I mean, just like complete. I mean, just whoa. Owen Wilson, you want to join in?
Wow.
He's not impressed. So we never impress him. I don't know why, but he's never impressed by our show here. So let's continue on. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Leaderboard is shaking up. Amazing Goose. What is that Goose game? I can't think of the Goose game. I haven't played it yet, but what is the Goose game? Someone put in the chat for us. We'll remember. Like, oh yeah, that game. It's really big, like 2-3 years ago. Next question. Here we go. So remember, outliers can do anything when it comes to correlation, but there is that outlier kryptonite. True or false? Outliers can dramatically impact the IQR and median. Untitled Goose Game. There we go. Of course, I don't remember the title. Untitled Goose Game. Outliers can impact anything. But wait, is there an outlier kryptonite? Is there an exception to any rule? Outliers can dramatically impact the IQR and median. I'm the goose. Or screaming at people, making them drop stuff in the Untitled Goose Game. That's Superman getting wrecked by some kryptonite right there. Oh, Flappy Bird, that was a good game too. Outliers, so this is false. This is a false statement. What if it said outliers can dramatically impact the mean and standard deviation? What if it said outliers can dramatically impact the mean and standard deviation? What would you say to that? If it said outliers can dramatically impact the mean and standard deviation, you would say true. Great job, Summer right there. Alexa, Avery, Priya right there. Sydney, Juliana, Emily, great job. We would be like, that's true. So when it's false, it's because outliers can not dramatically impact the median and IQR. It's about the biggest thing outliers don't impact. I guess the quantiles, don't worry about that. But there's like, these are the main things we want to understand right there. Shout out to all our new mods tonight, JT and who else was it? But we got some new mods in the chat, so shout outs right there. Glad to have you here. Going on to that leaderboard, whoever could... Expert Possum on the leaderboard, Rockstar Impala on the leaderboard right there. All this good stuff, but Bronze Bobcat leading the way. Will Bronze Bobcat be taken down? Let's find out the next question. Here we go. What is the Q3 for this data? So a lot of box plot stuff here, a lot of box plots. What is the Q3? We should know how to read a box plot and look at this and see what's going on. I see some wrong answers on this sometimes because when we look at this, it's like, wait a minute, we should know our points in a box plot. I know it's a little bit small, but you should look for one spot. The top of the what is where Q3 is at. The top of the what. And Paula, you better watch out. Like some Lonely Island, YOLO. Q3 is where? Okay, good.
Wow.
100 points right there. Great job. That's really good answers. Q3 is the top of the box right there. Q3 is right here. So that's where Q3 is at. And IQR is like parts of the Q3. Q3 ranges, or is the top of the IQR, which is the interquartile range. This is actually the tightest 50%. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You don't need to know that, but that represents in some box plots like Jump, the tightest 50%. And you could tell because you don't see it, but think about this. This is number of pets people own. What two values are on top of each other for this box plot? Oh, great job right there, Mitzi. Excellent work. What two positions are on top of this box plot right here? Like right here in this box plot. You got that, Avery? This box plot has what two conceptions? Great job, Gabrielle, right there. The min and Q1. The min, oh, Gabriel right there. The min and Q1. The min and Q1. Because the min is the lowest value and Q1 is the 25th percentile. And just think about this. A lot of people, especially college students, don't own pets. Does that make sense? So the lowest amount of pets people own is 0. And then 25% of students don't own zero pets. So a lot of students don't own pets. Kind of makes sense. College students, but then there are a few people, like 2 people who own 8 pets. So that's a lot. We just got 2 bunnies. With that, continuing on, it's leaderboard time with the leaderboard going all crazy. Amusing Goose leading the way right there, jumping up towards Groovy Pony. Let's find out who's going to win. Which of the following is not a condition for calculating correlation? Ooh. There are many types of questions on the test, Dem. Good question right there. There's true, false. There's multiple choice. There's numeric entry. The test looks like the what? We'll make sure people know this. What is the test going to look a lot alike? And we have a thing that we try to remind people of. If you see these questions, you should do what? Canvas content per, great answer right there. It's going to look like the Canvas content. Every Canvas content you get, write them down. What is our saying? What is our saying when we get to correlation? Who knows the saying for correlation? Something, 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 knows something. Something, 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 something. Oh no, Caitlin. Something, 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 knows something. What do we say here? We get to QQ straight enough, no outliers. QQ straight enough, no outliers. I missed the day of everyone chanting in the classroom. I should just walk in and just raise my hands and let the whole classroom say it. And then be like, see, the thing is, I love teaching online, but we do some pretty crazy stuff in person. And I just want to be like, and just like pull in the power from it and just like recharge a battery and just get the whole class to say it and know the conditions. And I would do that nowadays. That's what I think like that just came to me right there. I'd be like, okay, look, I'm a battery. And at the start of class, when I say it's time to start class, we're just going to like radiate QQ straight enough, no outliers, and those power are going to come to me. So I need you to do that now. I need you in the chat to type QQ straight enough, no outliers. I need that power. I need that power.
Sometimes I don't have enough power. Start to phase out of reality. Get a little angry here. Q. Straight enough. No outliers. What does that mean, Brian? Why are you teaching us this stuff if I don't know what it means? It's time for the boss to materialize in another reality. I go to all realities. Where am I? Brian, I need to go to that existence. Brian, I'm coming for you now. There I am. What's the point of memorizing something if you don't know what it means? I'm over here. Time for some QQ strain of no outliers. You can't even see me, but that's the way it's meant to be. Perfect. What does QQ mean? What does QQ mean? Who knows what QQ mean? I don't know what QQ means. QQ? Why do we learn QQ? What does QQ mean? Two quantitative variables like height and weight. Height and weight are two quantitative variables. The next condition is called straight enough. It means the relationship between these variables when we plot them here needs to be what? The relationship between the variables for the straight enough condition. Straight enough. I lost my music. Straight enough condition is what? It means the relationship needs to be basically linear, right? Straight enough. It's not perfectly straight condition, it's the straight enough condition. The last condition's a big tricky one because the last condition is called the no outliers condition. How do we pass the no outliers condition? Thoughts on that tricky one right here where it says no out? Ron, you can't type or write. How do we pass this right here? How do we pass the no outliers condition? Just look at it. There's no outliers. That one has an outlier. That is the only error on the QQ straight enough. No outliers.
The boss is in this reality. What's going on? What's going on? Those are the three conditions. QQ straight enough, no outliers. Plot doesn't thicken is one we will learn for regression. So stay tuned. Regression is a fourth condition for regression. Guess how many conditions regression has, and guess how many of them you already know. Thank you right there, King Queen. Glad you're enjoying it right here. Having a little bit of fun. Evil Brian and Brand versus confirmed. So there are four conditions for regression, and the first three are the QQ straight enough, no outliers. You know three of the four already. So there will be a fourth extra one for regression. So we've already learned three of the four. That's test 2 material, but we're just preparing ourselves. Great job, Juliana, right there. There are 4 for regression. It's not on this test, but we already know 3 of them. So we know 3 of the conditions by learning correlation conditions. And then for test 2, we'll know some more. We'll learn another condition. Let's check out that leaderboard. He hasn't cracked me in the chat with the Brian verse. Brian verse confirmed. Okay, right here we got the leaderboard. Bronze Bobcat just leading the way, but it's a close game. Well, I got a question on everybody. Let's see what happens. Will Bronze Bobcat win? Next question. What % of track runners are expected to run a time of 290 or higher? It's got some normal curve stuff. 290, I'll give you a hint for those who can't see. 290 is at a z-score of -2. 290 is at a z-score of -2. That's what you need to quickly identify. There are 60 seconds right here. This is a normal curve with a mean of 330 and a standard deviation of 20. Sorry for the smaller graphics right there. I'll zoom in once again so you can see. But it's a normal curve with a mean of 330 and a standard deviation of 20. So it goes down 20 each time. If you get a graphic like this, what's the number one thing you need to immediately do when you see this graphic? Oh, we did lower? Oh, so yeah, expected to run a time of 290 or higher. Oh, I see what you did right there. I know what your answer is going to be. B, what should you do? You should draw it. So we're going to take the drawing right here. I'm going to pray that I didn't put the wrong answer in here. So I'm going to do it right now. There you go. What should you put below it? What should you put below these? What should you put below these? These are some of the tougher questions. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Now, here's the thing. I like that a lot of people answered these two answers. I like that a lot of people answered these two answers. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. I read below. That's all right, Jameson. Don't worry. 100 points right there. We're going to practice and we're going to see how to solve this. Avery, perfect answer right there. We're going to put that below it. And let's see how to solve this. Are you ready? When we solve this, we're going to go right here. We're just going to grab random things on our desk. That's just what we do. Just, yeah, do that. With this, we're going to put the normal model with a mean of 0 and a standard deviation of 1 below it. Everything I'm drawing now are whats. Everything I'm drawing now are whats. Everything I'm drawing on here are whats. Everything I've drawn on here is a what now. Everything I've labeled on here is a what. It's a z-score. So the thing is, you have to remember, if the question gives you the z-scores to start, I sometimes call the other numbers starts with a C. I call them the what numbers. If the question were to give you the z-scores like this, you should draw the other numbers, which I call the what numbers. What do I call those other numbers? It would be normal with a mean of 330 and a standard deviation of 20. You should have both of them on the curve. The other set of numbers I call the what at the problem. It like tells you what's going on, like what it means in this, which all data needs. The context numbers. Great job, Avery. Amazing work. I'm throwing out. Avery's got some fire answers tonight. I don't know if Avery's going to win, but this 500 points here goes out to Avery, who's just been on fire with those answers tonight. So everyone give some shout outs right there. But that's some awesome work right there, Avery. Those are the context. These are the z-scores, which are the same between, but we have the context. Great practice, great review right there. And setting the bar right there, working hard, you got this. So with this right here, we need to go to where the question said right here. Now, when you shade this in, you might even be able to make a guess of it. If you shade this, which of these two numbers seems better to you, 84% or 97.5? If you look at the amount of area shaded in on the curve, like just looking at it visually, does that look like 84%? Of that curve has been shaded in, or closer to 97.5? You might say, well, it's between those numbers. I don't know. And the answer is 97.5. So I think it looks like a lot more, right? But we can confirm the answer by doing the following. Let's go right here and draw on it. And what number should we know if we go between 2 and -2? If we go between 2 and -2, we should know what? Not 68. What number should we know? 95 right here, 68, 95 is the second number between 2 and -2. And these are the empirical rule numbers for 1, 2, and 3 standard deviations. And so here's what we have to do. We have to do the inside-outside trick. If 95 is inside, what is total outside? Now do the total first. You might already know the answer, but do the total first. As we're doing in steps to practice. If 95 is inside, Madison got a great answer, Madison. There's 5% total outside. Does that make sense? There'll be 5%. And then we cut that in what? Because it's equal portions. So since there's 5% total outside, so it's 5% and Gabriel, I'm sorry, Gabriel. 100 points, Gabriel, right there. If I get anyone's names wrong, please tell me. I'm always like glancing at the screen. And so Gabriel, excellent work right there. It's going to be 2.5 on either side. and thank you to anyone who says like, wait, Brian, you got this wrong. Whether it be pronouncing things wrong or anything like that, just do like, hey, Brian. I'm like, okay, good. So with this right here, the answer is going to be these two numbers added up right here. Does the solve, who feels like this solve makes sense right here? 97.5. Does this make sense when you see it visually that it's 97.5? Because there's going to be a few more normal curve problems right here to practice. Who feels like this makes sense and is like, I see how we solved it. I need to graph on the curve, put my z-scores or put my context. Make sure you both have both of them. Maddie, great work right there. So when you get to these questions on the test, you want to use your scratch sheet of paper and draw it out. Use your scratch sheet of paper and draw it out so you can see the values and practice drawing it right there. Yeah, I like when we think it's easy. That's awesome. The more you practice it, the easier it gets. But every time I get, oh, that's nowhere on King Queen. You got this. Shout out King Queen right there. You got this. Leaderboard. It's a close game. Who's going to win? Make sure to email me if you win. Make sure to email me if you win. Here we go with the next question. Let's do this. What percent of the area of the graphic is shaded according to the empirical rule? Ooh, tricky question. What percent is that shaded on the empirical rule? Now, there's a super quick way to solve this. Who knows the super quick way to solve this? Like, put it in the chat if you know. So you might, if you look at it, you can take some guesses. And you want to shade it. You want to draw on your graphic and shade it. But who knows the super quick way to solve this? Farrell, I like that right there. Kevin got another way. All the points, 100 points. Oh, great job. Gabriel right there. All these answers are accurate. I think we've seen all three different answers in the chat. Some people are saying above 0 is 50%. I'm going to just chop off that 2.5 up here. That's 47.5. Not that I'm saying the answer, but other people are saying this is 34. That's 13.5. Great job on the breaking down of the curve into each of its segments. Do I have the... I'm going to go grab a picture of that real quick right here. Okay, let me grab the normal or empirical rule. 68.95. I'll use the curve picture I like. They've updated some pictures on Google now. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture of the curve and bring it over here. And I will show you the one broken down the way I like the most. And there's a lot of ways to solve this. So here is, 2 seconds. Here is the picture of the empirical rule broken down. And so when we do this right here, if you draw this on the test to start, this is a huge help. So I'm going to disappear off the screen. Take a screenshot of this if you want. It can be looked up, empirical rule. These are the numbers we use because they break down to the 68, 95, 99.7 rule right here. And so now let's take a look. We were between here and here. A lot of people did it that above here is what percent of the curve. Above the middle is what percent of the curve. Above the middle is what percent of the curve. Like if you say above the middle of the curve is how much? Above the middle is how much? Above the middle would be how much? 50%. So this is 50% of the curve, but then we don't want this. You have to be careful. It goes through this. So we are subtracting off from it how much? We would subtract off from it how much? A lot of info. You got it, Kristen. We'd subtract off from it because you have to add those. We'd subtract off the 2.5, and that's where people are getting the 47.5. Now, other alternative solves, a really, really quick one, which I thought of too, which a lot of these are super quick if we know them, is to say, wait a minute, between here and here is, I did it right? Good. Between there and there is 95. So if we want this, we want what of that? Just look at this visually. We're trying to show the visuals of what people are doing to solve. If that is 95, we can just take the 95 and divide by 2. But then another alternative solve, if you know the numbers, which we don't make you memorize these numbers, but great job for those who did, are just to do what to these areas to get it. If you know these areas, which are the complete breakdown of the curve, is to just do what? If you have this, which is more advanced solve, to know these numbers, exactly, well, then that's exactly it. Is if you know these numbers, you can just go 34 plus 13.5. But these are the numbers that you can either break down or memorize them. But it's 0.15, 2.35, 13.5, 34, 34, 13.5, 2.35, 0.15. What do you notice about these numbers if you do memorize them? What do you notice about these numbers when you go through them? Rather, I should draw it this way. The numbers do what? Because it's due to the symmetry of the curve. So due to the symmetry, the numbers are going to repeat. And then also they will add up. Great job right there, Summer and Avery. Yep, they're going to repeat. They're just mirrored on the other side of the curve. And then if you get them correct, you could check your numbers by doing what right here? Like, let's say you write these numbers down to start the test, because you are allowed to write on your scratch sheet of paper and flip it over and draw a normal curve if you want. Adding up these numbers, if you've done it correctly, should get you what? So you could do checks right here. You could be like, wait, is this right? Should that be 34 and 34? And they should add up to 100. Great job, Kelvin right there. And that adds up to 68. So you could check these numbers and be like, does this add up to 68? Does this add up to 95? Does this add up to 99.7? Is the whole curve 100%? And if you make sure you have it right, you can use it to solve questions. So use your graphics to your advantage. Great job, Summer and Rachel and Kristen and Gabriel right there. Awesome work. Next question, leaderboard. I'm so interested in who's going to win. Groovy Pony back on the leaderboard with Friendly Goat. They brought along their goat right there. Let's see the next question. A Stat 201 test is normally distributed with a mean of 75 and a standard deviation of 5. What percent of students make above a 70? Love this question. You don't get any graphic. What's the immediate thing you should think of when you hear a 70 on the test? So we're going to start solving this right here. What's the immediate thing you should think of when you hear a 70 on the test? When you hear a 70 on the test, you should think that's a what right now? So we're just practicing solving. Solve it with me if you don't have any idea how to solve it. When you hear they made a 70, then you think, well, that's a this on this test. A 70 is a what? A -1 z-score. So take your graphic and draw where -1 is at. And then we want the above. Oh, Maria might be seeing it right there. So they have a z-score of -1. They're one standard deviation below the mean, which is what z-scores communicate to us. So they're one standard deviation below the mean. So what's going to be the answer? Draw it out. Always draw it out. Who knows? Maybe Bronze Bobcat's not on the lead anymore. Ooh, not rooting against your Bronze Bobcat. Keep up that lead. Good job. Good work.
Wow.
There we go. Let's try another 100 points. Oh, and then Avery showing how to solve it right there. Avery, great answer. We'll use our same similar graphic because Rock knows.
It doesn't matter.
We know we're at a z-score of where right now. We know we're at a z-score of where. We confirmed. We'll put some more like fake context below it. But we know we are at a z-score of what? Mean of 75, standard deviation of 5. We know we are at a... That's not the answer. We know we are at a z-score of -1. So we have to go here, just ignore those other numbers. So we could just use our curve that we've drawn out. And then we look at this and we say what? And great answers. I think somebody solved it, I think, a really great way right there. 100 points whoever gave that answer. They said above here is 50% of the curve. And this is that 34, which is half of 68. And so what did they do? And so other people are solving other ways too. Great job right there. Ethan doing the 68 plus the 16. I think that's right. So is that's right? 68 plus 16. Oh, yeah. Is that, because the 68, oh, I see what you're doing. Oh, you solved it. Nice solve. I've never solved it that way. 100 points again. I've never solved it that way. That solve says the following. This is 68. And then you took the remaining over here and said this is 16 because that's the outside. And there you go right there. What is another alternative solve if we know that we want this area right here? Here's one more alternative solve. And we want this area. And we know that this is 16%. What would be the other alternative solve? And if you know one solve, I also solved it like that. Great job, Kaya, right there. 100 minus 16, Priya, great work right there. The whole point is to feel more comfortable solving these. I know I did a lot of quick solves. Sometimes I teach at different levels. And if you're lost, please review. I want to say this too. Some of the videos, I think from this week, we have a lot of Canvas content like review questions. And what could you do if you have no idea how to do chapter 5 questions? Who's got a suggestion to people like, you have no idea how to do chapter 5. You're like, I got no idea how to do any of this. How could you get extra help this week before the test? Before the test, jump into a what and just ask for help where? Well, there's a few spots, but what could you do to get some additional problems? SI is great right there. Alyssa's doing great. Speed runs, check out those speed runs. Mewbot's got it. Office hours. And the thing is, I want to say this, do what works best for you. The number one thing I've seen is taking note cards is a great way to learn. But come to class, whether you're in my class or another class, check out SI reviews, check out the speedrun reviews, but figure out what works best for you. But just come and ask questions. Alyssa is the GOAT. Alyssa is absolutely awesome. Check out her reviews, check out our reviews, and ask questions whenever you have them. With that, hashtag show up right there. We can't take down Bronze Bobcat. Bronze Bobcat, 100 points to you right there. We're rooting for you. Not everyone is, but I am. Going on to the next question. Here we go. Oh, did I miss a way? 68, 95, 99.7. Everyone's going to get this one. Let's see what Laura wrote. Whoa, wait a minute. Laura did half of the 3. Oh, Laura, that's worth 100 points. Does that turn out to the right percentages? I'll have to check that, Laura. It's an interesting solve. I'm not sure it's the right percentages. Bronze Bobcat, the anonymous warrior. I'll find out who Bronze Bobcat is. Make sure you email me Bronze. If you win. 68, 95, 99.7. These are the numbers we need to know. Oh, no, we lost 4 people. 99.7. You told the answers. If you listen in, sometimes you hear some answers. 68, 95, 99.7. These represent the amount of areas within like watts as we go out 1 watt. Like when I say 68, 95, 99.7, these represent the amount of area contained within different watts. These represents the amount of areas contained within different watts. The amount of areas contained within different watts. Z-scores. Right, Kristen? Different Z-scores. 68, 95, 99.7. Can you do that one on the exam too? Which one, Abigail? Tag me with which one you want me to talk about. But we want to make sure on the test, when you get the test, I highly suggest, what is Brian's pro tip for the test when it comes to the normal curve? Here's a hint. When the test starts, what do you think you should do? Pro tip for the test. What do you think you should do? You should draw it out and do what? You should flip over and play the test right there. You should flip over your paper and start drawing out a normal curve to like just have it as a reference. You cannot, no. You cannot bring a normal curve to the test, but you can draw out a standard normal curve. You can put some information down just to like be like, okay, here's the data values between. And I highly suggest, I don't know if we have that picture still up, using these values. If you know these values and you can put them on the curve, they're really good at helping out. So once again, I'll zoom in on it so you can see it. But here's the values right here that I would highly suggest. I'll make it look a little bit prettier if you want to screenshot it on your screen. But if you know these values right here, you're decent. You'll have some help on the test. You can't bring that to the test, but you can draw whatever you want when the test starts as a reference to look at. It's going to help to look at the numbers. Going on to the next question. Here we go. Let's do this. Clever Meerkat. It is a close game. I want to say this, the last 5 questions are lightning rounds, and I think they're double points, so get ready. The last 5 questions are lightning round, and they are double points, so get ready. There's going to be some quick questions. Might be some shakeups on the leaderboard, so stay tuned. Don't leave. Here's the lightning round, so get ready. Double points and quicker questions. I need some Amres in the chat right here. We got to bring in our old friend. That's one hacker man. I need some Amres in the chat. Amres in the chat right now. I need some Amreadies. Once you type I'm ready, I need you to get back to your phone because you're not ready if you're typing. If you're typing, you're not ready. But are you ready? So we're about to jump into this right here. Here we go. Let's check out the first question in the lightning round. Sure, cool image. Lightning round question number 1. True or false? Double the points. An ordinal number is a quantitative variable. An ordinal number. An ordinal number is a quantitative variable. An ordinal number is a quantitative variable that has been sorted in ascending or descending order. An ordinal number, quantitative, ordinal, quantitative, number. Bruh. Ordinal variables are what? Might see a shake up on the leaderboard. Ordinal variables are what? Oh, not saying this is on the test, but maybe write it down. Hey, everybody, look. Sometimes I take questions I see a lot of people get wrong, and I put them in the Kahoot. I'm not saying anything. This is edited in afterwards. But sometimes I look at the test, and I see what students get wrong, and I put them in the Kahoot. What's wrong right here? What's wrong right here? What do you notice? What is wrong about this? What is wrong about this? Got him. What is wrong about this? What is wrong about this? Number. It's categorical. Ordinal. Kaya right there. Kaya, I want 500 points. We love some caps in the chat. I didn't mean to do that. Song goes out to Kaya right there. 500 points for Kaya right there. Huge crazy points. We got to make a sound for it though. There's the sound. 500 points because ordinal variables, we started off with this tonight. Ordinal variables are categorical. Kaya just, ordinals are categorical. So it's got some false stuff in it right here. W for Kaya right there. Can we start the test at any time? It opens at 7:30. Yes, 90-minute window. Correct, Abby right there. Excuse me, Abby. So ordinals are categorical variables. They are not numbers. They are not quantities. Ordinals are categorical variables. Have that written down. And we do love our note cards to write down things like an ordinal number is a quantitative variable that's been put in ascending or descending order. False. False. 40-ish questions. Time for the next question here. Here we go. Leaderboard. Oh my gosh, Bronze Bobcat. Rockstar Impala. Next question. Here we go. True or false? Double the points. Quantitative variables must be numeric. True or false? Quantitative variables. You see the histogram right there. You see a quantitative variable. You should also know box plots, stem and leaves, and dot plots. Box plots, stem and leaves, and dot plots are all quantitative displays of data. So that histogram with a goodness of fit test over it for the normal distribution is quantitative. There will be true or false. There will be true or false. Quantitative variables must be numeric. That statement is very, very, very true. Oh, it's got another iron to it. Very true. Great job. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. Quantitative variables are numeric. They must be real numbers where you can take differences of them. And let's take a look at the leaderboard. Whew. I'm sorry, Bronze Bobcat. I feel bad. I feel like I jinxed you. 2,000 points is going to be pretty close. 3 more questions to go. Stay tuned. Here we go. Last few questions. Put our own music right here. Put on like some fun music. Here we go. 3 questions to go. True or false? Double the points. A variable that consists of numbers is always a quantitative variable. A variable that consists of numbers is always a quantitative variable, like student ID. Like student ID, a variable that consists of numbers is always a quantitative variable. A variable that consists of numbers is always quantitative. Anyone know an example that we saw earlier in this? If you ever see something like this, a variable that consists of numbers is always a quantitative variable. You'd look at that and say, wait a minute, I remember that student ID example. Identifiers, or sometimes you can do categories like group 1, group 2. That's not a quantity of group number. So things that are numbers are not always quantitative. Things that are numbers are not always quantitative. Student ID is a categorical technically because it's an identifier, which are special case categorical variables. Remember, this is the lightning round, so I do go a little bit quicker. So a variable that consists of numbers is not always quantitative. So if we say it is always quantitative, that's a false statement. Leaderboard is just, you never know. Oh my gosh. 2 more questions. True or false? Double the points. Phone number. Good answer right there, Madison. A bar chart is a good way to visualize an identifier. A bar chart is a good way to visualize an identifier. That got some pivot on. We didn't mention pivot tonight, but those are some pivots right there. Do know the basics of pivots. Pivot was not part of this tonight, but do know the basics. We didn't do that much correlation. We didn't do much pivot. Can only cover so much in a hour and 20-minute review session. Do we visualize identifiers? Do we visualize identifiers? Maddie, good luck, Maddie. Do we visualize identifiers? Yes or no right now? No, Avery. Don't say that. Avery, wait. I'm going to remove that. Just in case. I'm just afraid. Like, let someone do it as a joke. Like, I know it's a joke, but the potential... and so we don't visualize, like, the potential of somebody taking it the wrong way. Like, why not? And I'm just like, no! Like, you two would be like, what have you done? So I'd be like, we can't do that. So we don't visualize identifiers. Does that make sense? We don't visualize identifiers. We don't visualize identifiers. Yeah, the potential, like, we don't visualize identifiers. Avery, 100 points right there. We don't visualize Hannah. Come on, Hannah. Yeah. Welcome to
Wait,
Stat
go
to
away,
One.
Brian.
How are you doing
Go-
this morning?
Brian,
Right
get out of here, man.
here. How's everyone doing? Everyone doing It's all behind right? me. I've ruined the illusion. This is before we get started on the last question right here. This is me during the Stat to One review right here. This is me during Stat to One review right there. Other long hair Brian needs to get out of here. Kristen, it's wait, delete those messages. You can remove your messages. For some reason, well, let me remove messages of some mods. I don't have certain powers, so just in case, delete any sort of. I know what 8675309 is, but make sure to delete those messages. Anyways, okay, let's get back to the review. What is going on? Here we go with the last question right here. You ready? Last question. Here we go. Get ready in the chat. Here we go. Well, it's not last question. Ready? Oh my gosh, what is going on? Here we go with the last question. For real this time. For real. Here we go. Last question is double the points. There's sometimes a good reason to remove outliers. There is sometimes a good reason to remove outliers. There's sometimes. Wait. Kristen, can you remove that message that you put? Just because I don't want anyone to think it's serious. I don't think you were serious, but yes. Yeah, I know, but just in case, because anyone could take things out of context. I know. But just like, if you go over and click on it, lest someone think it's serious. Like, yeah. Awesome. I want a big 500 points right there. I know, but you people just would be, imagine me like explain. Oh my gosh.
Brian, you need to chill out. Tiny Brian here. Hey everybody, great job in this Kahoot. Brian's just losing his mind. Time for the leaderboard. Here we go. In third place, we have Clever Meerkat. Clever Meerkat right there. Brian's Bobcat, great job. And in first place, the grand winner of them all, was it the goose? It's Groovy Pony. Tiny Brian, out.
Man, Tiny Brian, you're always here to lighten the mood. Great job, everybody. All those winners. Rachel, thank you so much. Glad you enjoyed right there. Having some fun tonight. Good hour and 20-minute review, hour 15 review. Got 39th ranked. That's all right. The number one thing, I went from 89th to 5th. What does 11th place get? Lots of knowledge. So great work right there. Summer and Kristen and Joseph and Margaret and Avery and Margaret again and Carson. Number one thing to do, if you won, please make sure to email me. You can see the top missed questions right here. But if you were on this podium, please make sure to email me. Chloe, great job right there. Please make sure to email me. Clever Meerkat, email me. You can choose between Starbucks or Amazon. Let me know the email you wanted sent to. Bronze Bobcat, please email me. And last but not least, and great job, Bronze Bobcat. We weren't rooting against you. It was just fun. You were in the lead the whole time. I know. Oh, you're probably like, still $20. That's great there. Time makes things of Tiny Animals and the Spy Kids, the Island one. I haven't seen that one, Laura. I guess your generation grew up with Spy Kids. Like that was, can we find this Kahoot? Yep. You can watch it at any point after it's aired right here. You can just watch it live. So one of the great things about doing these things on YouTube is once this Kahoot runs, we'll head back here to the main screen. So now that the Kahoot's over, one, we are finishing up pivot assignment on Monday. We have that due on Tuesday for our class, but you can watch this at any time. I feel pretty good about, oh, you got second place. Was that you? Were you Bronze Bobcat, Troy? Troy, were you Bronze Bobcat the whole time? Congratulations, Troy. If so, we weren't rooting against you, I promise. This Kahoot would be a great Quizlet. Yeah, make it a Quizlet. Great job, Troy, right there. Can I play it again without the video? I put something on this time that it says like you can use it to review. Congratulations, Troy, right there, 100 points. I put this thing on where it said like you can review afterwards. So check it out if you have like the Kahoot app. I've never installed the Kahoot app, so I'm not endorsing it. But you can, on the Kahoot app, apparently play questions you miss. I don't know if everyone can play it again. So it's a new thing. I pay for Kahoot. So I pay them I think I pay them like $100 a year. Because funny enough, they changed their services a while back, so I couldn't use Kahoot get our big Kahoots. I went to play Kahoot and it only let me put in 50 students or something, and I was like, oh no. So now we have all the options for Kahoot, but then there's Kahoot Ultra Premium, which you get you can do Disney Kahoots on. But great work. Any last questions about the test? Any last questions right here? What are your thoughts? Make sure to come to class Monday to finish off pivot assignment. You're welcome, Kristen. And make sure to come to class Wednesday. We'll be going over an in-depth review. So Wednesday's going to be a big review. Any last words of wisdom? If you have any questions about any of the material, swing by office hours and also go over the practice test. Will it be multiple choice? There's multiple choice, there's true, false, there's numeric entry, and the best way to know what the test looks like is the Canvas content. So every type of question you see on Canvas content literally comes out of the test pen. I mean identifiers. Hannah, can you explain about the identifiers? Thank you, Brian. This is my third eye and all my chakras. That's also right there, Avery. Is there going to be a curve on the exam? There could be. You never know till it happens. Where are the practice exams? Mubot just dropped them in the chat right there. Mubot helping out right there with review 1. He knows review 1, review 2, review 3. So the practice tests are located on the site right there. Mubot should say them again right there, but he drops the link in the chat. Go here for test 1 review. And if you click that, that'll open up the test 1 review. So anytime you're looking for the test, just do ! review and then the number of the test, and Mubot can then tell you where the test review is at, which is a good question. Got a Mubot helping out right here on everything. Any other last questions? Well, Mubot say goodbye to everybody right here. Get some dinner. Say goodbye. Let's head over here. Mubot.
Thank you, everybody. Have you gone over visualization 4? Yes, the pivot assignment. Brian, bring me to the main world. Pivot assignment. Visualization 4. 2 hours later. If you are doing the pivot assignment, there was a special statue on stream over here on the office hours pivot assignment help. The video has now been labeled with all... Oh, Mubot's blocking everything. Mubot has to vanish. The video has now been labeled with everything. So you can go in and check out the pivot assignment and go to the first pivot chart. There's Brian doing it right there. How to screenshot. The second pivot, Brian uses different data. But going right here is how to do all of them and how to make pivot and going over the instructions. All that good stuff right here. Back to the main screen. You're welcome there, Brittany. Great job, Mitzi, Kristen, Blake, Koosh. Good to see you. Thank you, Koosh. Mubot's the best. Everybody, if you stayed till the end, 500 points from Mubot. With that, we'll be back tomorrow here on Statue 1. Bye for now, everyone. Bye! Mubot out. Time for Mubot to go away. Not before going chaotic, though. Yeah.